So I woke up this morning and I found YouTube had flagged me with a community guidelines violation, and I thought I knew what it was. I put up a War Corpse meme on my Google Plus account because in order to relieve some of my frustration on War Corpse, I made a couple memes. One of them I thought was a little too mean. Another one I thought was a little too obvious. But when I found out I had a community guidelines violation, they said it was for harassment. That's what I thought it was. I had made a meme about War Corpse. I don't agree with that being harassment. But if they had flagged that and removed it, I would have just gone about my day and not really thought about it. Because it is like it's just me being combative for the sake of being combative. So if someone wants to say that's harassment, then and I can't do it, then I'm fine with that. But that's not what they blocked. And in case you haven't noticed, YouTube has banned 6 of my videos. And the videos they banned were my Bad Philosophy with Rocking Mr. E videos. This is incredible. He apparently finally found out these videos exist. And because I did the ban socialism so close to his releasing the ban socialism, it's probably because the Google algorithm picked up on it, and people who had watched his videos, probably more of them got it in their recommended videos than some of the other videos. And it probably just got back to him, and he decided to flag everything as harassment and got his fanboys to flag it as harassment. Is probably what happened. Now, the irony of this is the most recent one is me talking about how he wants to ban any political ideology that does not conform to his idea of what ideology is acceptable, and mine arguing against it. My videos don't fit the guideline of harassment at all. Some of his videos do, because the harassment includes harassment of people based on gender. So some of his videos about women fit harassment. My videos do not fit harassment at all. They are rebuttals. They are more tame in terms of content than 90% of the videos in response to Anita Sarkeesian. In fact, I think if this counts as harassment, every single rebuttal ever made to any other YouTuber must be considered harassment. Because some of them I don't even call him an idiot. Now, I noticed they didn't remove my rebuttals to anyone else on YouTube. They didn't remove the Progressive Con, which is actually, it's not part of the same series as the Rockin' Mr. E, because apparently Rockin' Mr. E and his fanboys missed that one while going through my videos. They missed that one, even though it's right next to, it's the previous video before the first episode of Bad Philosophy with Rockin' Mr. E. They missed that one and didn't flag that one as harassing. The content of the Progressive Con is absolutely identical to the content of Bad Philosophy with Rockin' Mr. E. It's identical. It's essentially the pilot episode of the series. It's identical to that, the content. So to flag, you're going to remove the other 6 and not remove that one? That's just ridiculous. YouTube does not watch stuff they flag. It's obvious. Because I know this has been a controversy on YouTube for a long time about false flagging. They don't watch the stuff they flag. If enough people flag it, they just remove it and don't even address it. People have told me that they have been false flagged and they continually wrote to YouTube over and over and over again, and they never got a response. I wrote to them this morning. If other people want to help me out, I'd like for you to write to them, because Rocking Mr. E is not going to win this. He's not going to win this. I'm not going to allow this to happen, because he has done this on YouTube before, tried to silence people who disagree with him. If you've seen the few videos he's made where he's responded to people who did responses to his videos, like Friendo and you, James, and a few others, he always attacks them in the most vicious, ridiculous way, just like he always does. But here, I think he didn't do a rebuttal. He just wants to silence me because I'm so thorough. Also, because I actually know in great detail about the field he is claiming to be an expert on. And I think that's why, instead of making a response to me, which it would be impossible to rebut, it's impossible to rebut my arguments against War Corps too, but he still does it. But which is what makes them hilarious. But it would be impossible to rebut this. So his idea is to remove it. Now, YouTube is not going to remove my videos in response to somebody who says vile, misogynistic, racist shit on YouTube and call it harassment and then allow him to keep making videos. That's not going to happen. I'm going to fight this as hard as I can because he's not going to win this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give YouTube maybe like a couple days to respond. And hopefully other people will help me by circulating this video and writing about this video, or perhaps doing videos about this video, or about Rocking Mr. E and the false flagging. Hopefully people will help me out that way. And I'm going to give him a couple days. After that, I'm going to start writing to every press organization, left-leaning press organization, every feminist website. Everyone I think could possibly pick up this story. Because most of them are going to ignore me. I know this for a fact. Most of them will ignore me. One of them will pick up the story, and that's all it takes. If you know anything about how our media works, some little small media outlet will pick up a story, and every other media outlet sees that story, and they pick up on it. And it snowballs. That's how it works. A lot of people believe that calling people and writing to people about your complaints doesn't work. It does work. It works in real life. It works practically. If you write to a company about bad service you got, you will get a response most of the time. If you write to a politician, even though they won't answer you most of the time, sometimes they will. You have to do it over and over and over again. You have to be persistent. I had a political science professor who she was talking about in her class how students always think that doesn't work. And she said in the 80s, she wrote to Ronald Reagan, the President of the United States, and invited him to an event at the University of Dayton, which was the college she taught at, and he came. So you wouldn't think that would happen. That's not going to happen every time you write to the president, but she wrote to the president and invited him to an event, and he came. And she had film of it, which was awesome, because people think writing to people doesn't work. I had a civil rights thing with my college, and I complained about it, and they wouldn't even let me go through the channels that you're supposed to, like the college outlined channels to go through for the complaint, and they denied me those rights. They're supposed to be student rights. And they just like laughed at me, and I said, I'm writing to the ACLU, I'm writing to like anyone I can. They just like laughed at me, and they're like, yeah, you do that. And I did it, and yes, most of them ignored me. The ACLU actually wrote me and told me just to get a lawyer. And I'm like, I can't afford a lawyer, that's why I'm writing to you. But one organization picked it up, and then they were like crying like hell to like resolve it because they didn't want it to snowball. They were like, oh, please, 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 please. We'll do whatever you want. That's how they were like. They were like total hard asses with me until I did that, because most people won't do it. So I'm going to win this fight with YouTube and with Rockin' Mr. E. And I promise you, I was going to end the series. There will be more episodes of Bad Philosophy with Rockin' Mr. E now. Lots of them. There will be lots of new episodes. I will keep making episodes of Bad Philosophy with Rockin' Mr. E as long as he's on YouTube. But first, I have to win this fight. So I'm going to put my entire letter I wrote to YouTube up at the end of this video, just to give you like the kind of tone I use when writing to them, if you want to write to them as well. Because if they can do it to me, they can do it to you. And they can do it to other people whose videos you watch. So if people want to do that, I really appreciate it. I don't ask anybody to do anything in any of my videos. But this is a special case. So anything you can do to help out, I would really appreciate it.